started. And then obviously, if you have any questions, you can just message me directly anytime. Okay. What got you interested in coaching?
So I've been playing Overwatch since Overwatch 2 came out, and
Yep.
ever since then I've been in love with it, and I've been
Nice.
wanting to improve a lot. My goal basically is to get the highest I can.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I want. And I've been watching your videos a lot
Yeah.
for a few months, and I've always wondered like what kind of tips I would get from a VOD review. So I thought
Yeah.
might as well try it with you because I
Yeah.
really like your content.
I appreciate it. Yeah, and there is something just fun about personalized in feedback. I remember when I first got coaching years and years and years ago. I was like you. I'd watched a lot of educational stuff, and because I was already kind of into coaching at the time, but there is something about just like, oh well, I wonder what my problems are. And I think like having that side of things is fun. So okay, I see you play Ana, Mercy, Juno. So you're like the flex support, right? Play a little bit of everything within the support role. Has that always been the case?
No, actually, before I would only play Ana.
Good choice.
So yeah, but I always thought maybe like branching out to other support
Yeah.
players would help me,
Yeah,
climb
yeah,
a little
yeah.
better.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, sounds good. When did you decide to branch out? Approximately.
Probably like maybe like the end of last year.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. And how has that process gone since you made the transition in terms of rank improvements?
It's been going well actually. I've been able to reach the highest was Plat 2, which was 2 seasons ago.
Nice.
Um, which I was happy about, but ever since I've been kind of going down a bit. So it's
Yeah. I heard the knock on the door.
oh,
Take your
sorry.
time. No, it's fine. That's fine. Take your time. I get it. I had cats climbing over me my last VOD review, so it's totally fine. Go ahead, continue. So you talked about you peaked Plat 2 seasons ago, and so on. Continue.
And so I would mostly just be between like Plat 5 to Plat 2, but last season and this season has been pretty difficult. Been sticking in gold a lot, so
Makes sense. Okay. Why do you think that is?
I
I mean,
think
that's probably
part of
why you're
it-
here, but I'm just curious if any guesses.
Yeah. I think part of it is probably because I've been more busy lately in life too, so I haven't really been having a lot of time playing
Yeah,
as much as I used to.
that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, at the time of the forum, it sounds like you were playing a lot, but since then,
Yeah.
maybe not quite so much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
makes
so much
sense.
now.
Okay, about on average, what do you think over like, let's say the next month, 2 months, the average day, average week, what do you think you're gonna be able to get in terms of play time, approximately?
Usually, I can get like a pretty good amount of hours. Just I like maybe like honestly, I used to play like 7 hours a day, which is not good. But um, I could play like that much if I wanted to, but just trying not to do that.
Yeah, agreeable.
Like especially during the end of the day, like that's when I mostly have the most time. So
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. I mean, depending on what your goals are here, I know for you, your long-term goal will be eventually make it a top 500 short-term diamond. Let's just focus on the short term for right now. I think reasonably, if you're really efficient with your playtime, with your focus, you really shouldn't need more than 2 hours a day.
right.
And even then, you could probably do with even a little bit less, depending on how focused you are. But like let's just set the bar a little low. Like, I know you talked about having a busy schedule and that kind of thing, but 2 hours a day, you can make it work. You can make it work.
Yeah.
Certainly to diamond, and then evaluate from there. The question is what the frick is happening with your practice quality, right? Maybe not now. I know you said you've been really busy, but back in the day, what's preventing your practice quality from being as high as it may be? Now, obviously, the low-hanging fruit here is, like you said, like the long days of playtime. That's not only not helping, it's probably hurting. But obviously that's probably not something that's happening as often anymore. So what do you need to change? What do we need to improve on? And we can talk about that. So I'm hoping to improve on my skills on the support role. Specifically, I'd like to understand compositions for my team and the enemy team, and to think ahead better in team fights. That makes total sense to me. Now, let's talk hero pool, because there's been some mixed baggage in terms of how that's been approached. You've had some mixed success. You've gone up in rank a little bit, but then kind of struggled back down again. And at the time of the forum, you kind of threw the kitchen sink at me. Ana, Mercy, Juno, Bap, Kiriko. And I'm sure that you pull about each one of those in whatever situation you feel is appropriate. But realistically, if you were to like look back at your career profile from this season before, and the season before that, what does the playtime breakdown, percentage breakdown generally look? Approximately.
For Ana, I play her the most.
Yeah.
Just because I love playing her, and I feel like with her, she's my best character. And then for Juno, since she came out, I've been really enjoying her. So I've been playing her. If Ana doesn't work, or if someone has Ana, or I've just been playing her. And I play a lot of Mercy too, but I'm honestly trying to stay away from playing Mercy because honestly, I just love how she plays and how she feels, but like I feel like from playing her a lot, I feel like I was kind of stunting my my skills with Ana, with like the whole aiming and the whole like what's it called? My positioning. And stuff like that. So I feel like I just really want to stay away from Mercy now, because I want to improve those skills. Okay.
I mean, that's a very reasonable decision to make, and I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh yeah, Mercy is totally fine. Like anytime, it's not optimal, but again, you can make it work. I've worked with many people who have reached Grandmaster with Ana Mercies and Mercy hero pools. It's possible. So if you ever come to a time where you don't feel like you're enjoying Juno so much, or you really do want to pick up the Mercy, you can. You just got to make sure that you're doing all the other things right, if that makes sense.
Okay.
In the meantime, I think Ana Juno hero pool is excellent. So if that's kind of where you highlighted those heroes. So where does Bap, where does Kiriko, where do they come in? Do they even come in?
So I usually play them when I've tried Ana, I've tried Juno, I've even tried Mercy, and it kind of seems like we're not getting anything done. So I kind of just pull them out, because to me, I feel like they're just like really good. So that's when I pull them out.
Okay, fair enough. Basically, think about it this way, all right? The best way of approaching things is, if you're struggling with Ana Mercy, if you're struggling with Juno, and you can't figure out, like, it doesn't seem like the solution is solving itself, the reality is that you've just hit the brick wall where your skill needs to be the compensating factor. When you're playing a hero pool and you're not being specifically hard countered, you have to take it in stride and find, what do I need to be doing differently? What do I need to be doing better to solve this problem? If you try to take that opportunity to pick up you don't know how to use a screwdriver, but you pick one up anyway, Baptiste, you don't know how to use a hammer, but you pick one up anyway, Kiriko, right? You're probably not going to be able to necessarily win that game. Even if you do, even if that was the perfect choice for the right solution, your end goal is really to hit Diamond playing Ana and Juno, yeah? It's not to occasionally fill in Bap and Kiriko when needed, although that could be a useful skill. The question is going to be more about, like, what do you need to be doing differently? What do you need to be doing better with Ana? And the same thing with Juno. So I encourage you to avoid that. I really do. I think Ana and Juno are very flexible characters. There's lots of different things that you can do. There's lots of expression of skill. And even if Kiriko could win that game, the goal needs to be, can I win this with Ana? Can I win this with Juno? That's going to be your challenge for yourself. And if you want to learn Kiriko because you like playing Kiriko, then do that. If you want to learn Baptiste because you enjoy playing Baptiste, go for it. But never treat it as like, I need this character to solve this problem, because half the time you're going to be wrong and half the time you're going to be right, but it's still going to be the wrong thing to do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You're going to have to fight that urge, okay? Now, I'm curious, under what circumstances, if you can even think of any, do you feel the need to swap? Or is it more just like nothing's working and we just try something random and just see what happens?
Mm,
Tough question, I
so,
know.
like for instance, a lot of like where the enemy composition has a lot of damage, like, and our team can't seem to like do anything without like just getting that damage and dying, or we're just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
what's it called, like staggering.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's when I like would like to pull out the Kyrian bat, because like at least for me at least, from my understanding of them, I feel like I can do more of trying to like keep the team alive with that incoming
Yes.
damage, especially with poke as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. I understand.
to
I
kind of do
understand.
something about it.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, you're right that there needs to be a solution, but the problem is you got to ask yourself, why am I trying to sustain the unsustainable in that situation, right? Can I deny some of that pressure from coming in? And we'll talk more about that in the replay review. But okay, good to know. Good to know. On a Juno, a little bit of mercy, but trying to avoid it. For playtime, I'm going to give you a quick crash course. I'm not sure how familiar you are with some of these concepts, so if I say anything that doesn't make any sense, just let out a blood-curdling scream, all right?
Okay.
The big thing is we want around 2 hours. That's our goal of practice time. If you play more than that, that's fine, but I want you to avoid spending more than 4 hours a day and ranked on playing support. If you want to play more Overwatch because you're just chilling, playing with friends, having a good time, got a day off, whatever, that's fine. Just don't play Ana or Juno after 4 hours. That's the rule. You got me?
Yes.
You could.
So sorry.
That's okay.
Did you say practice on ranked or on unranked?
So
sorry.
you practice in ranked, but don't
okay.
play on a Juno past 4 hours. You could, after the 3 or 4 hour mark, you could play whatever you want. You could play tank, you could play quick play, you could play Junkrat in arcade. I don't care, right? But we want anywhere from 1.5 to 4 hours of dedicated practice time on Ana and Juno. And when you're done, then you can play something else. Like, you need to check that box, but you also don't want to continue. You don't want to be playing Ana Juno for 7 hours, right?
Right.
That's kind of the goal. And you want to go into those ranked games with specific goals for both Ana and Juno, and that's why we're here today. Now, in terms of warm-up, have you ever had a warm-up routine before? And if so, what did it look like?
Before, I would take 30 minutes in like one of those, like, what's it called, like those trading, like the aim training mods in the game. And I would take 30 minutes, like as soon as I would hop on, I would do that for like 30 minutes, and then afterwards I would jump into comp, or even play like two quick play games to warm up.
Now you say would. I assume that's
that.
Well, yeah, because I'm going to be honest with you, that sounds freaking boring. Here are my guidelines, because I'm also an Ana and Juno player, all right? My guidelines, well, at least what I used to play the game, Ana and Juno. My guidelines are this. This is kind of one of those modes that you were talking about, right? I'll give you the code if you don't have this code. Are you familiar with this one?
Yeah, this is the exact one I use.
Yeah, it's Vaxa. It's a good one, right? It's boring as all get out, but it's a good one, right? So what you do with this one is you're going to see the timer in the top left, that little orange number. You're going to go into this game, and you're going to do one thing. You're going to stand still, and you're going to aim with just your right hand. And you're just going to aim with your right hand, and you can actually change them. You can change the speed, and you do that for 30 seconds. Then you're going to strafe, and you're going to practice just hitting quick scopes. And you're just going to, boom, crosshair, and you're just going to do this for 30 seconds, okay? Then you're going to hard scope, and then you're going to stand still or strafe, your choice. You're going to do that for about 30 seconds, okay? You could read the movement, do the flicks, whatever you like. And then the last thing, if you really want to, is you could do like 30 seconds of sleep dart. So I'll be like, okay, read this movement. Oh, no, okay, wait. Whoop, there we go. And you do that for 30 seconds, tops, all right? Now, if you've been counting, that's around 2.5 minutes, okay? If you want to do a little bit of the Juno, I know Juno is not the most mechanical hero, but get the feel of how her gun handles, that's fine with me. But you really don't need more than 2 or 3 minutes, okay? That's the bare minimum, all right? 2 or 3 minutes, just bumble around. And notice also as well that I'm not just randomly shooting. You can do that if you'd like to, but you can also drill specific skills as well. You could do either one of those. You could just kind of jump in here and just randomly shoot crap. That's fine with me. But you can also go in and specifically train a task. Check the sleep out. Ready? 3, 2, 1. I'm going to hit this. Okay, never mind. You didn't see that. Then your other option, if you don't want to do that instead, is you can go into unranked here. Actually, I think it's an arcade now. Yeah, you can go into arcade and you can queue this up, this 8-player deathmatch. Lock Ana and go to town. You probably won't win. It's very difficult to win Ana in that mode, but you're going to get a lot of reps. Now, the only bad thing about this is it depends on the queue time. If you got like a 7-8 minute queue, don't play this. Don't play this. Just do the Vax instead. But if you really want a better, more involved warm-up that isn't quick play, this is it. Because the problem with quick play is it's like a weaker version of the game, which is fine, but you also have to deal with spawns, and if you're going to deal with a queue, you might as well just do something that's just going to be a lot more immediately bloody. All right?
Got it.
That's my recommendation. Do whichever one is either A, fun for you, or B, easy for you. Your warm-up needs to either be fun, easy, or both. Because if it's hard and boring, you're not going to want to do it, and you're not going to do it. From there, we talked about the 1.5 hour to 4 hour rule. It really depends on your energy and what you're feeling that day, however long you want to practice. That could be anywhere from 3 games to 8, 10, 11, 12, 14 games, but really be careful beyond that. I recommend getting up from your PC and moving around while you're in queue. So just getting up for 30 seconds. Don't need to continue to aim train. You should be fine. Just to stretch your legs, shake off some of the negativity or the positivity that may be distracting you from the previous game, and just focus on what's next. All right?
Right.
That's kind of my general guidelines in a nutshell. Do you have any questions about any of that stuff?
No.
Okay. Very, very important. It's the boring nonsense stuff, but it's what makes change, is taking your schedule and being like, I can do this a little bit better. I can take a break here, or maybe I can consistently warm up and I make it really easy. That stuff matters a lot. You want to be consistent with your playtime. You'll be consistent in your play. Now, you say, what do you feel is holding you back? You said, I think my lack of thinking ahead is what is holding me back, along with ability usage, being able to use my abilities in the right situations. Talk to me about thinking ahead.
So I feel like I want to be like more efficient at like kind of knowing what's coming when it comes to the enemy team. Like kind of, I don't know if I'm there yet. This is probably I'm probably not there yet, but I
just show me what you got.
Kind of keeping track of like ultimates.
Yeah.
Kind of getting the idea of how the enemy team is playing, and kind of reading them and kind of knowing what to expect. Sure.
So reading what the enemy team is, how they're positioning, what they might do from those positions, reading their ultimates, what the plan might be. Yep. Okay, great. Okay, so we could talk about that. You said that might be a little bit more than you can handle right now. Maybe?
Probably.
Maybe. Here's the thing. Okay, so when I hesitate to say this, it's not because I don't think you couldn't handle it. I think you could. The question is it going to be the biggest bang for your buck? Like, are we going to want to incorporate some of that, or are we going to take a look at how you're using your anti-nades? I think what we could probably do is do a little bit of both. I think we'll probably look at how you're playing and how you're positioning, but we can also practice thinking about, like, what do you think the enemy team would do here? What kind of rotation are they going to be doing here? We could actually start practicing that if you'd like to. Because if that's what interests you and that's what you like doing, and I assume that is, yeah?
Yes.
Then why not? Let's lean into your strengths. Let's do it. Okay. And then that goes along with ability usage, being able to use my abilities in the right situations. Elaborate on that.
So, I feel like sometimes I think I know when I should use an ability, but then when I use it, I need it, and then I'm just like, okay, well, I probably should have thought about that. Or like I have an ability that could be really helpful right now in the situation, but I don't use it, and it would have been really helpful. And looking back, I'm just like, oh, why didn't I do that?
Now, why didn't you use it? Is it just brain fart or what?
I feel like I get too focused on certain things in games sometimes. Like maybe
like
I'm too focused on healing my tank, or I'm too focused on, there's a Genji on the enemy team. I need to like be careful. I'm watching that Genji, and then I'm not paying attention to my teammates over here. And I'm like, they need me.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Overwatch, right? Like, you've been playing it for a while. It is the multitasking game of all time. It's the most mechanically and mentally demanding game out that I think I've ever played. So it's not a you problem necessarily. I mean, it's something that you could definitely develop and will need to develop if you want to progress in rank, but there's nothing specifically wrong with you. We're just going to need to talk about different ways that you can improve your awareness. And yeah, okay. That makes sense. Multitasking, multi-planning. Do you have any questions before we jump into gameplay review here?
So far, no.
Okay. So let's take a look here. So I've got some expectations with Ana gameplay, and we're going to lay those out right now. Most Ana players, and this is probably going to be you, I'm just going to be flat out with you and honest, is that most Ana players think about one thing only, and it is healing, okay? Now, I'm sure you've heard about damage, and do more damage, and pop off that. It's not just about that. It's about asking yourself, what's the biggest return on investment that I can get out of this damage, out of this weapon, really, and out of this ability, or that ability, or my ultimate. And the reality is sometimes it's healing and sometimes it's damage. Sometimes it's defensive, sometimes it's offensive. You brought up an example earlier where you're like, oh, I used an ability, and then realized that I needed it. The question is not whether if that was a waste or not. The question is whether the first time you use the ability, like let's say you naded aggressively and then got dove. Oh no, I died. Did it get value though? You know? Did the nade hit somebody and kill them? Did it zone out 2 or 3 people? Did it force a bunch of cooldowns? Because if the answer is yes, then maybe you shouldn't save your anti-nade. Right? Maybe you slept a Bastion on the flank and then the Primal Rage Winston went and killed you. You probably needed to sleep the Bastion, right? It's not a question of, oh, I should have saved Sleep Dart there. Well, you kind of had to use it. There was a lot of value. So what we're going to look at is with Ana is, are you hitting anti-nades because they're generally easier to get value out of offensively? Are you hitting your Sleep Darts? Are you positioning yourself to do damage and healing? And are you using cover? And that's pretty much all there is to it. So let's take a look. Now I'm going to ask a lot of questions. I don't always expect you to know the answer to those questions right away, so don't feel like, oh, I'm expecting you to know. I'm just asking for you to think about it, all right?
Okay. Also, real quick, I think I sent you the wrong code because the Ana game was supposed to be a Junkertown game.
Oh, yeah. Dig around. Find another one.
Sorry. Let me get it real quick.
That's no problem. Take your time. I assume you just go like 65 and 0 this game, so it's not worth reviewing.
Probably. Okay, maybe this is the one.
All right, let's check this one out here. And yeah, there we go. Okay. Klutzy Pot. That's actually an excellent name. Is there an interesting backstory or is it just foolishness?
Like, I think I'm a very klutzy person. So that's why. And then the pot was just like, it's like a silly.
It flows nicely.
Inside joke from like that.
Yeah.
That is like a song.
Oh, I see. Okay. I mean, it makes sense. Klutzy Pot, like a shoot. You could try to think. There's like a lot of words that combo with pot, like honey pot. Stink pot. What else? I can't remember, but yeah, it makes total sense. The spelling is also silly as well, which is great. All right, well, this is going to be quite a challenge, right? Like a lot of times with Ana, you're going to be playing into sniper characters, which means you got to be a little bit more creative with how you get value. But this one is going to be a zombie mission, right? Operation Survive, basically, right? And this pretty much right from the get-go points out an error that you're going to have to work on cleaning up. Do you generate healing value by walking towards the character? You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what we call the plat magnet. You're not stupid. This is normal. I do this now still, not quite to this extent, but this is one of the most common problems, not just for Ana players, but just Overwatch players in general, is we press W when we want to shoot something. which means that instead of, popping shots safely here or even rotating to our next corner here, you kind of rotate out in the open, which open yourself up the Sombra, which open yourself up the ball. It's not just a question of, oh, you have a worse sight line. It's also just more dangerous. Nice. You're crazy. Klutzy. You didn't look so klutzy there, I'm not going to lie.
In the beginning of Overwatch 2, I definitely was.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, where's your sight line for damage and healing with cover right now? It always changes, right? What do you think?
Either to the left or the right.
All right.
Like,
what do you think?
I think probably here, probably to the right.
So like here?
Like, yes, there or
this looks good. Yeah.
Behind that other corner too, yeah.
Yeah, this looks good. Give me one on the left.
I would probably go above the stairs.
So here?
And be in the high ground, yeah.
Yeah. Good vision, good safety. Perfect. You got it. You're safer there because, yes, you will have to turn around, but you'll have cover with which to play with, right? Ball dives, you can nade, you can go to your team and then rotate back. But this here, this is naked. This is not naked. And this, it's not just about defense, it's also you can do more damage from that position too. Nice. You're a wizard. Good try with the sleep. And this is where Ana gets hard. I appreciate the attempt at nade there. You get her. I really like this. You're finding situations when people are low or distracted and just like, I'm not afraid. Like I'm gonna say 80% chance to get the sleep dart. Ah, darn it. Okay, that's okay. See, you're a winner. That's how you win games. Nice job.
Thank you.
Now the problem here is you can't stay here. You can't sit here and be a payload princess, right? You got to move. You got to move for damage and you got to move for healing, right? So where's the best position? I think there's a couple of choices here. Give me a couple of your thoughts.
I like to go behind that stack of vehicles right there.
Yeah,
I like
good.
to go to peek either side of that.
You got it. Where else? Give me two more spots.
The building to the left. I also like to peek where it stay near that where the health.
Yeah.
What is it called? The health is there.
Yeah.
And then even to the right on the high ground there.
You're a wizard. You nailed it. 3 for 3. Really anywhere here with cover. You got it. Now here's a question for you. We're talking Sombra ball, everything you want to kind of dive you, right? What if they're in a Widowmaker?
If they're on Widow, I would...
I'll do you one. It's one of the 3 positions you already told me. Which one doesn't make sense versus the Widow? Which one doesn't make sense?
The middle for sure.
The middle for sure, right? Which one doesn't feel super good either?
Probably the right because... Or actually, I don't know. I'm thinking the left because there's the health there.
But also, look at the side. Look, well, not just that, right? Because we're talking about a one-shot character.
Right.
But do you see how you have a sight line, but one that hides from the Widow? So you can still damage, still heal, but you don't have to worry about Widow. You're a sniper.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes you play versus better snipers. So you don't just sit in the back line and hide and pray the Widow misses her shot. You take a different angle. Because if they're on Widow, they're not on Sombra. If they're on Widow, they're not on Mei. So yes, you might still get dove, but there's at least one character that's not going to be there to shoot you in the face. They can't snipe you and dive you at the same time. At least not at full efficacy. So this position is really good and will be mostly good most of the time. Nicely done. Again, clutch shot. I don't know why you're healing a full HP Juno, but like right there, you got to get locked back in on that angle, right? We need you here. We need you here thinking about your Bastion. We need you here shooting that Mercy in the face. We need you here thinking about Wrecking Ball. All right, let's go. Don't press W, just shoot. Anti-nade this and shoot. Let's see it. It's good, but anti-nade first. Let me explain why. Okay. It is such a huge spike in value, and it is easier to hit. It needs to also be a splash. So if you think about this here, If you anti-nade the second you see the window here, you're going to hit Kiri, you're going to hit Mercy, you're going to hit Ball. Yes, it's going to force Suzu and Ice Block and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be wiped out, but that's exactly what you want. Now, let me ask you a question. Are you going to get punished for not having anti-nade now?
No.
No. Why? Where's the Ball? Where's the Sombra?
They're behind the cart, which is quite a distance from me.
And the Sombra's dead. But yeah, you nailed it right there. You said a very important word. You said distance. So where the enemies are tells you whether I can use my anti-nade aggressively. Because you might want your anti-nade to heal yourself versus the Ball, but when he's over here, yes, he could traverse that distance quickly, but he's going to take damage. It's going to take time. It's going to allow you to hit your sleep dart. It's going to allow you to get to cover. It's going to allow time for her to heal you. You'll have time. It's a risk, but it's a worthwhile risk right now. Now, I will say, I do like that you're shooting, and I do like the sleep dart. I don't like the W key. It's not easy. Remember, hold your corner, right? But you know what? I do really like the sleep dart, and I like the damage as well. This is why it's so important to hold still, because this gets chaotic, right? Imagine how much easier this fight. What would you do from this position? You'd shoot Ball, but what else could you do? You see it? Nano, the son of a gun. Do it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's where some of that planning comes into play. So I actually want to be very clear. I think you played this fight pretty well. Nice sleep dart. But there's always value that could have squeezed out there. Always. And by far, I think your biggest issue so far has been we're not seeing front-loaded nade when you have the opportunity to. And we're seeing you press W when you're shooting. Those are two big issues we need to fix. Okay. Do you have any questions so far?
No.
Okay. I like your damage. I like what you're trying to do with sleep dart. And I like your starting positions, but not how things evolve when things get stressful.
Okay.
So this is one of those moments, right? I know your guy's under a little bit of pressure, but this anti-nade has to hit somebody on the enemy team. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Who can it hit? One of three targets, right? It doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. It could hit Mei, force Ice Block, hit Ball, force him out, hit Kiriko, force Suzu, and TP. But you need to help your Reinhardt out by nading one of the things hitting him so it stops hitting him. If you don't, they will keep hitting. Does that make sense? That's, like, anti-nade is like, hey, I'm going to help you by hurting the enemy team because nade really hurts. So, let's see. It's fine. It's a little bit of delayed reaction, but it happens. Nice. It's messy as all get out. The first thing you need to do when things get stressful is find cover. So where's your cover right now? Your choice. 7 million things happening on your screen.
Probably either the left, which is I'm closer to the left, so behind that water tower, I think it is. Yep.
You nailed it. I mean, right too, but you got to commit. Like, you got to get your running boots on. You got to go. So you kind of hesitate, right? Just go. You desperately need cover. Like, I understand. Ball dove you, Sombra dove you, so you ran forward and then ended up in the open. That's okay. Like this is Overwatch 2. Crazy crap happens all the time, right? So you just need to find a corner. When in doubt, find a corner. All right.
Okay.
I like this little angle here. Good try with the sleep. Good try with an 8. See the W? I know we're close to capping, but, you know, this is where they throw out blizzards and mines and slams, and just don't be here. You don't need to be here. Okay. Good stuff. Any questions so far?
Yeah, actually, so I play on console, so
Yep.
what is W exactly? Like, is that
W is forward.
Forward. Okay.
Forward. See, I see you should be flattered. I wouldn't have believed at your console. Your aiming is so smooth. It's very difficult to aim with console. To 180 especially, right? But yeah, this is great. Now, optimal position for you now. You don't have cover right now, and you're kind of just standing on cart. Where do you need to be? As quickly as you possibly can. I'm going to give you the overhead here.
I would run up to the stairs and try to get that high ground.
I mean, that would be great, yeah? But what if they're already up here? Because everything in Overwatch is like, oh, let's get the high ground. But that's the easy answer. What if you don't have the capability of getting high ground? What if you have to gasp, stay near cart? How do you make it work?
I'd probably try to stay in that little, either the little hall that's to my right.
Yep.
And
like
try to
just
stay in that little area there because I know it connects to those rooms over there too. Or maybe to the left too, where that big mega house is.
Well, you're now, 7 for 7 in terms of positions. So you have the capability to solve these problems live time. And you want to talk about like planning things out. We talk about anticipating what the enemy team might do. That's very important. But a lot of that needs to start with you need to figure out what am I going to do first, right? What am I going to do? Now, if you want to practice ult tracking and be like, I'm going to practice trying to guess to see if their DPS have ultimates. You don't need coaching to do that. You could do that right now, today, tonight, right? Go in, think about whether they have ultimates, and then when you think about it, make a different decision with your positioning. Like, for example, their Mei has Blizzard. So how does that change? Does that change your positioning choices here?
Yes.
Okay, what changes?
Well, definitely don't want to be near her. That's one. So, and definitely want to be in a position where, if she does use her ultimate, I can escape from it.
Yeah.
Or just
cover.
Just not even be in that position in the first place.
Yeah, I got you. So going back to our original positioning decisions here, does this make sense here for dealing with Mei ultimate? Or this? Does it make more sense than you being on cart? Yeah, absolutely, right? You got cover. You could see her coming. You might want to play a little bit further. You talked about going upstairs. That's good too versus Mei ultimate, right? Yep. Nice job. And I want to remind you what I said about ult tracking. You don't need me to do it. Just practice. The only thing I'd say is just don't practice tracking every ultimate. That's the only thing I'd recommend.
Okay.
A little unfortunately I had a nade there, but it happens. And this is just kind of, you know what this is? This is a random death that you just shouldn't be here. You know, you shouldn't be here. You should be here, or you should be a little further back here, or you should be up here, or heck, if you want to rotate aggressively here, it's fine. You just need cover, right? You need cover. Don't float, because that's what gets you slammed here.
Okay.
And that's what, and I don't even know if the Mei was aiming for you. I think she was aiming for your Farah. You just happened to be there, right? Okay, and then hey, look at what just happened immediately afterwards, right?
Yeah.
You predicted it, right? Okay, let's take a look here. Now let's have one quick chat about Nano. Do you have a strategy when it comes to using Nano, or is it just more like I see an opportunity and just go?
I try to look at my team's ultimates to see if there's any combos I could do. And then if there's not, or if like it doesn't really seem like it's aligning that way, I just try to see who's the most aggressive or has like an aggressive angle.
Yes. Can I offer you a suggestion? Flip those priorities. Number 2 is more important than number 1.
Okay.
Number 2 is more important than, because what's happened is we've had a couple of times here where people were aggressive. And they probably could have used the nano, even not to get kills, just to get space. Like, remind yourself that you don't need to get kills with every nano, all right? Just remind yourself that. But you could get space. Like, I'll call it when I see it here. Like, right now. Who needs nano right now? Who could use nano right now? Do you see it? It's hard to see. Who's the one that's exposed? Who's the most aggressive person on your team right now?
The Farah.
The Farah. Now you're like, oh, but she's ulting, and I don't. She's probably going to die without this without nano. That's my prediction. I might be wrong here. Ooh, she got really low. But I tell you what, this Farah with nano not just gets the 2 kills, but definitely doesn't die, and definitely gets 1 more kill. So even though you're like, oh, I don't know if I needed to ultimate this, yeah, that's probably true. But I think in general, I want you to go back to that second step and be like, who's aggressing? Can I use nano on them? Who's aggressing? Can I use nano on them? That's what I'm really looking for. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good try with the sleep dart. That's honestly a bit unlucky. You were behind cover, he knocked you out into the open, and then you were a little bit indecisive. And if you want to see a really funny death, check this out. Really sad, but really funny. You're like, no, where do I go? Poof.
I thought I was safe for a second. I was like,
I actually
back
think
up in this room.
I think you got shot. Because does mine do 160? Hang on a second. I thought it did a little less than that. Maybe I'm wrong. See, this is why we do this coaching session, because you're teaching me now. Hang on a second here. I know it got buffed not long ago, but I did not think it did 160. 165? Okay, well, I'm glad I'm here. Yeah, good to know, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think that rotation was terrible. And we won't beat a dead horse here. It's pretty much the same positional choices that the last round would have made a lot of sense. But what's concerning me a little bit here, I tell you what, you're just a beast sometimes. I'll tell you what, like this is really well done. Like you come out, you shoot combo into the sleep dart, lead your shot, you shoot nade combo, you miss the melee, which we're going to pretend we didn't see that, but then you hit a shoot melee combo just because why not steal the mega? I mean, you're a beast. This is beautiful. This is really well done. And that is a worthwhile use of your abilities. You know what I'm saying? That is a totally worthwhile use of your abilities. Even if you didn't hit that, it was still the right choice. I like this with one exception. If you're going to be here, where do you need to be? Small adjustment.
Cover.
Cover. Get to freaking door frame. That's it. Do the exact I love this sightline. You can watch the angle. I love that you're aware of the angle, by the way. Check the angle, heal your team. Check the angle, shoot the enemy team, right? But get on the cover. That way you don't get one shot by somebody flanking you here. You just go, oh, duck in and you're good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good shots. Wow, really good shots. And good sleep. Didn't even need your nade. Nade it or nano it or both. Yeah, you're killing me with the lack of nano. Like this has been a huge problem right now. Nano right now. Nano the Juno. I don't care. Nano the Juno. Nano the Rhino. Nano the Reaper. Just use it. Nano the Pharaoh. I think you still win this because your shots are insane. But that was like really risky. Like you almost lost it just because you didn't press square. Why? I don't know. Please tell me what is
triangle.
Okay, triangle. Okay, good try. I guess. At least I tried. But yeah, I'm actually okay. I'm gonna be honest. I'm actually very impressed with your cooldown value. Sometimes I think nade could be prioritized, like I said, a little bit more. But like you hit some shots. Like well done.
Thank you.
I'm actually suspicious that the reason that you're not platinum again is because of either your Juno play, your Mercy play, or the fact that you play way too long, and this is not how you play all the time. That sometimes you just play when you're really tired and you play like crap. I don't know if you can confirm or deny those allegations, but I'm suspicious. This does not look like gold console Ana. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, for Juno, she is very new, so I am still getting used to her.
Sure. And
I am very guilty of playing when I'm tired. And I need to like remind myself to get off.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. That's good to know because we'll look at a little bit more here, but I think like we've given you a couple of guidelines. Use the freaking nano on anybody's aggressing. Be much more disciplined with your cover. And I also think a little bit more deliberate at thinking out your pre-fight positioning overall. I think that would benefit a lot. But I think like we'll look at a little more here, but I think you're on as like, okay, like, you know, this kind of stuff is like, you know, I love it, but also like you probably could have just done that from here. You maybe didn't even need the sleep dart. You probably could have just shot Nader and killed her, you know? You love the melee range crap, you know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes it's just not necessary. It's not that you're too aggressive, it's that you're too close. That's the difference.
Okay.
Sometimes it's appropriate, but when you're flying out into the open, like right now, like this is not aggressive. This is just too close. And this is also without cover. If you're going to drop here, where do you drop and rotate to?
To the right.
You got it. Get to here. Get your sightline and start pop. See, it's actually, you need to be more aggressive. You need to get more damage out now, but you just can't be here. Get off the cart. Because this is so stressful. This is especially with console, right? It's so hard to turn around. Like, this is just a disaster, right? So you're the
Yeah.
greatest Ana player in the world, and then you're a complete bot. That being said, I will stand by what I said, and that this does not consistently look like gold Ana play. So let's take some notes, and then let's look at some Juno gameplay. Ana, what needs to be practiced? Give me a couple of points. Be as specific and as deliberate with these points as possible. They need to be really, really easy to understand.
Stop pressing W or walking
Okay.
forward.
Yes, stop walking forward when you are doing damage or healing. If you don't walk forward all the time, it's only when you're focused. Now, that is a hard habit to break. So how you break it is you go into a game and you literally only think about that. Now you're going to forget about it after about 3 or 4 fights. And then you're going to remember it near the end of the game and you're going to forget. But that's okay. If you practice these things, even if for just a couple of fights, that's okay. Totally fine.
Okay.
If you nobody's perfect at remembering to practice something all the time. And you're probably still going to W key. But if you W key 25, 30% less than you normally do, that's huge. Great job. Congratulations. All right. What else?
Take advantage of very good positioning. Or like, I feel like I don't take advantage of the positions that I know that I'm aware of.
Mm-hmm. Take advantage of between fight downtime to think about what angle to take. And this might be where, I'll put a note there, this might be where you ult track. Plan around enemy composition. Because we talked a little bit about that, right? The Sombra May, the ball, how that changes if they're on Widowmaker, right? You can get your hands dirty versus a Widowmaker. Not so much versus a Sombra May, right? Kind of ruin you. Okay, what else? That was mostly it.
Use my ultimate more.
Use ult as soon as somebody aggresses when the fight starts or gets aggressed on. That's it. Nano is a very flexible ultimate. It does not need to get kills for it to be worth using. It does not need to team wipe. It does not need to be used on your Genji or Winston, although it's very good too because they're generally pretty mobile and can get value out of it. But somebody's getting dove, or somebody's diving, or somebody's brawling or swinging, just use it. Whoever's aggressive, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay, let us move on. Oh, cover, you fool. And I will add a comma there because I'm all about that grammar. Yeah, good. I have minor nitpicks with your cooldowns, but I actually am not going to even put it because I don't think it's all that important. I think for the most part, your cooldown usage, which you put as a weakness at the time of the form, is actually a strength. Because it actually seems like you actually have your brain on straight when it comes to like, hey, let's actually do something with this and not just exist, right? Which is just lovely, lovely to see. So, do you have any questions?
I don't think so, actually, yeah.
Okay. Let's go.
I'll say no.
Okay, works for me. Juno is like Ana. Juno is like Ana, with the only difference being you can reposition more. So you start a fight going, I want to be here. And in mid-fight you go, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I could be there? And then you go there. Okay? Grandma can't do that. But Grandma generally doesn't need to because she's got concrete boots and a sniper rifle. Juno's got fluffy, booties, and she has like powder puff snowballs. Like she doesn't do a whole lot, right? So she basically can rotate whatever she wants, but she's not like big, powerful, angry, nasty bursts of value like damage and nade and sleep dart, right? So what you need to do with Juno is think about where do I want to start, and then as this fight evolves, where can I reposition to? So right now this is fine. You play your range, like kind of like medium range, and just kind of shoot. But tell you what, don't torpedo this, because do these targets need healing right now?
No.
No, that's it. Don't even think about using your torpedoes for damage or healing. Just go, oh wow, there's a lot of crap happening, I'm going to torpedo that. Or, oh wow, somebody's diving me, I'm going to torpedo that. Or, oh wow, there's a pharmacy diving my backline or pushing, well, I'm going to torpedo that. That's it. Torpedo just needs to be used when something is happening. And nothing is happening now. Now, if you were to torpedo now, would it be good?
Yes.
Yes, that's it. You nailed it. Now, let's go to our example. You gave Grandma space boots. where would Anna want to go if you could get her? Right now.
I would want to go into the high ground.
So why aren't you going up into the high ground right now?
Probably because I'm not thinking about that.
That's true. That's a good answer, right? And it's because it's the correct one. It's absolutely the answer. Whenever somebody in my Twitch chat's like, why didn't you do that? I'm like, man, I'm not thinking about it. Man, I'm bad at this game. I'm old and washed. But this is what you have to be able to do. So when we talk about torpedo and speed ring, I want you to simplify your thought processes. I don't want you to think too hard about it right now. Use it on a teammate when the fight starts. You speed ring this Ramatra, very good. Whether he's kiting or standing still or pushing, it doesn't matter. Torpedo right now, very good. That doesn't matter right now. The timing of those cooldowns matter, but that's about it. For you, the next step in your Juno evolution is these mid-fight, okay, where do I go now? And you do that with your double jump, and you do that with your shift. You get to here, better vision for healing, better safety. Also means you're not getting spammed out the wazoo. Anybody pushes you, you can fly away. That's kind of the classic with Juno, right? You can't really push into anybody because you're just kind of bad at dueling. But you need to take space. I like this speed ring. This was used when action was happening. Well done. The problem is that your speed ring and the team fight is not being matched by you actually taking space. And by taking space, I simply mean what would be a cool sightline or a cool position for torpedoes or for damage or for healing. And this is it right here. You see, you could be here, you could be shooting the Sojourn. You know why I can't shoot the Sojourn? Because you can't see her, because you're here. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It doesn't mean you need to be flanking all the time. It doesn't mean you need to be DPSing all the time. It just means you need a better sightline and a better vision. And because you can do that, you have to do that. Because the game is balanced around if characters have a lot of mobility, they're expected to do something with that mobility. Otherwise, other characters like Hanzo or Junkrat or Anna could just do more. See, I like the idea here. I think you're doing it to help your Pharah, but you really did want to get up here, right? You just messed it up. You needed to get up to here, double jump, and then fly, and then you're good to go. You got me?
Yes.
Don't get stuck here. By the way, speed ring this as well. There's a fight happening, speed ring it. Don't overthink that ability. You see people trading, you see people fighting, use it. Speed is very useful. Even if they don't even realize it. I like this torpedo. Why? Your positioning here is kind of crazy, but is there something happening right now?
No.
Well, actually, are you sure? Look carefully. This looks like something to me. No? Do you understand what I mean by something?
I got confused.
Okay. No. It's okay. It's okay. Do you understand what I mean by something? I just mean an engagement at all. People are fighting. So torpedoes? That's good. It's good. It gets blocked accidentally, but that's just an accident. It happens. Nice rotation from you. Wow. Good awareness as well. And good mechanics. It's funny, I can tell you put a lot of time in, because that's the one thing that does get better when you put a lot of bad time in. You put 7 hours a day, yeah, your brain rot's going to kind of spill out. You're going to be stuck in gold, but your mechanics are going to look pretty good. You move pretty fluidly, you aim pretty fluidly, it shows. What should you do right now? You have torpedoes, you have speed ring, the fight is starting, so you need to use them. But if Anna could be anywhere for an aggressive play, where would she go?
I would use speed ring, and then I would position to the... Well, usually I was positioned to the left. With Juno...
Why do you hesitate?
I'm actually not sure, because like, for me, I would probably just be in the air. Like, I would just jump up and be in the air, but I'm not sure, actually, where to position with Juno here. Like, I would go to the left.
You go here?
Yeah.
This is great. This is great. This is great for speed ring. This is going to be great for torpedoes. This is going to be great for healing. It's going to be great for damage. It's also going to be great for you healing your Pharah and your Mei, because you'll have a bit of an angle to do so. I'm telling you what, your instincts with your positioning with both your Anna and Juno have been 100% correct. You're just not taking them.
Yeah, I gotta think about that more.
The key thing with Juno is that, like, you will get punished for this sometimes. Like, sometimes he'll make a bad read, right? One of the things with Juno is you pretty much can generally only want to take angles that are uncontested. It's really hard to, like, you would never generally want to fly into like a Reaper or a Tracer here. Anna wouldn't want to do that either, but at least with Nade and Sleep, you got a shot. With Juno, it's hard, right? But there's nobody here, so fill that gap. What makes Juno exceptional is because you have so much mobility, you probably can find a side lane where there is nobody. And like you said, maybe you're like, oh, I'd fly into the open. Well, then stop flying in the open, but take the angle, because this is really gimping your value right now. You're not taking any space whatsoever, despite having the mechanics of being able to take speed. Or take space, I say, as you speed the floor. Torpedoes is fine. Like, you're using it to complement action. But again, your position is just so incredibly linear, right? So that it ends up not providing a whole lot of value. Do you feel yourself heal botting right now? It's because it's because of your positioning. Again, the left is wide open. You have torpedoes. See, that Sombra's going to hunt you down no matter where you go. There's nowhere in the backline that's safe versus a Sombra. Like, you have been the definition of existing but contributing nothing the last 2 minutes because of your lack of repositioning. I want to simply put the camera on the left side of the screen. And I want you to see what you could have gotten done from that side. Because I think it's hard to visualize the power of angles, right? Until you see it. All right, you ready for this? This is going to be cinema right here. So there's your speed ring. There's your shift. And then we're going to watch this. You ready? Can you see it?
Yes. I'm
going to leave the overlay on just so you can see a little bit easier of who's here. Okay? So think torpedoes here, damage here, shooting here, healing here. Let's just leave it right here. And we're going to keep it rolling. We'll go 2 times speed. May gets cleared out. It's painful, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it is like 3 or 4 different times you could have saved your Mei and allowed her to stay there. You could have killed probably, 3 different targets that went to under half HP, and that's without even torpedoes. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy. And at no time did you ever feel like you would have been under risk. That the Orisa probably would have pushed you, but you just fly away like there's nothing to be worried about. And you were under risk where you were as it was. The value of that angle is the fact that it provides a crossfire, right? And crossfire is the crucial, most important thing next to cover in all of first-person shooters. If you don't have crossfire, you don't win games in any first-person shooter. You must establish crossfire. Even brawl comps, like, I don't know how much you follow the pro Overwatch scene, but like these Malga, big sweaty hunks of meat slamming into each other, nobody's really flanking. They're still taking crossfires, little crossfires, because it's so, so important. And that's what's desperately missing from your Juno gameplay. Probably because you're not as confident with this character, would be my guess. But unfortunately, this character doesn't care whether you're confident or not. It expects you to be able to do these things, right? And even if you take that crossfire and make a mistake, that's okay. That's just part of the learning process. Can't fly into this angle because it's contested, but you sure as heck can fly here and help your Pharah out. You see?
Yeah.
All right. I like the speed ring. Something's happening. I like the torpedo. Something's happening. You could ult this if you want to. Just use it. Your ult's if you use your ultimate here just to secure it, I wouldn't mind. Because this fight is pretty stressful. You could probably won't lose this. Juno ult is like even easier than on ult to get value out of because it just lasts forever. And it's, you know, the damage boost and all that kind of stuff is really strong. So good try with the healing. Now, let's test your knowledge here. Because as soon as this next fight starts, you guys are kind of staggering here. As soon as this next fight starts, I want you to tell me, where would Grandma go? You know? What would Grandma do if she had rocket boots? So... Speed ring? Yep. Where would Grandma go? Small adjustment here.
Shoot. Probably the high ground to the left.
You could. You could. You ready for something earth-shatteringly simple? As soon as you get the speed ring out, you can even jump up and swing this way. Because now all of a sudden your torpedoes are going to hit 1, 2, 3 additional targets that you didn't even see initially. You notice that? So you're not even seeing the value that you're missing, right? Because you're not here. right? I also am begging you to press Q here. That's going to be the biggest reason why this feels bad. Is there a particular reason why you're not pressing Q? You think that you don't need to? You have a specific idea in mind with the ultimate? Just curious.
I feel like sometimes I just don't know that I have it.
Okay.
Like-
just
like,
an experience.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. All right, don't worry about it then. Something to practice, but it's not like it's a lack of understanding. All right. Next episode of Where Would Ana Go? Speed ring that as well, by the way. Good ult. Where would Ana go? Your team is pushing. Take your flank. Right? Do it.
To the right.
Mm-hmm. Where would Ana go? Where would Ana go?
High ground.
Yeah, Get off of cart. Okay, I'm gonna make a rule. You have to stay on cart, or you can't go high ground. Give me another position.
To the left as well.
You're a wizard. You got it. Just a different crossfire, right? Ana probably could hold this safely, but Juno definitely can, because you got flight. You got cover. You're fine. Like, look, you could be doing damage right now. You could be healing your Pharah right now, healing your Reaper right now. So much easier. So much easier. That's it. You nailed it. So now what is it? You're like 14 for 14 and choosing the right positions now? Perfect grade. Good speed ring. I want to see one more fight on third point, just for more practice with this, of what would Ana do? And again, this is what would Ana do if she had rocket boots, right? Which you do have, so move it.
Probably go to the left.
Yeah, you could go left.
Yeah, that little room there.
You could swing wide here, get better vision on your team and the enemy team from here. Heck, you could go right here. Not now, obviously, because there's stuff happening right now, so you don't have time to. Oh dear, you're far barraged. Let's see. Yeah, you definitely have time now. This is definitely a time when you swing wide, you pop those AoE torpedoes, you see if you can get that Bastion to look at you, see if you can get that Malga to look at you. So basically what's happening is this is feeling a little bit better because it's more open for you, but you still need to take a little bit of a crossfire here. It's just a little bit. Just to hit a couple of extra targets with those torpedoes, a little bit of extra healing, a little bit of extra damage. You're missing those opportunities. And I think it's because you're not as comfortable with this character, right? Let's fix that. So, Juno. Yeah. What needs to be practiced? By far the most biggest thing, proper English.
Positioning?
Yeah. What about your positioning? Be specific.
Like, honestly, I'm not sure.
It's okay. That's why we're here.
I know I'm positioning for sure.
When we went back to first point, when we asked why would you go top right, why would you swing left, why would you go in that little courtyard and left, and again on this third point, why would you go left? What was the term that we were looking for? What were you looking for with Juno? What was unique about your positions? You may not even know the answer to this, but think about it. The sights, right? And so why were your sight lines better? Your team was in one spot, and then where were you?
I was in a position where I could see them.
Yeah. So we looked for a little bit of, type this up, little bit of crossfire with your positions. Soft angles. With high ground too. How does that look? I don't want you to be a backline babysitter, essentially. I want you to be proactive, be safe, be cautious, play cover, be disciplined. But I want you to be proactive. I want you to find an angle where you can provide crossfire. Number 2, torpedoes, and this goes in all caps so you know it's important. Speed ring used when fight is happening. Don't use them before fight. Don't use them late in fight. Use them. Now, obvious exception is like if you're speeding somebody from spawn, it's fine. But you want to use those abilities when the fight is starting, when people are engaging or trading or diving. Those are when those abilities are used. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, last one, use that ult. And this one is in extra caps with a couple of exclamation marks to make it extra extra important. It's a very flexible ult. Fight starts, same rules, torpedo and speed ring. Use the ultimate. Totally fine. Do you have any questions? No pressure, because if you don't, you can always message me anytime.
I feel like you answered all my questions throughout throughout this whole time.
Sure. Okay.
But yeah, I definitely will message